Hello, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Lygia, and I'm going to be doing a winter solstice reading for you, which happens December 21st, 2021. It happens to be a Tuesday this time of year this year. So, and it's wonderful. It's one of my favorite times of the year because I live in the winter or the Northern Hemisphere, where winters can be very severe. And at 4:30 p.m., our light is gone. The sun's pretty much setting closer to between 4:30 and 5. So as December 21st happens, after that, the days start getting longer, the sun starts setting a little bit later and later, and it just makes its way into our spring and summer. And that's one of my favorite times. So let's get right into the reading. We're going to be using 3 different decks of cards this time around. And one of the first ones we're going to be looking at is the Sacred Forest. Oh, lovely deck of cards by Denise Linn. The second deck of cards that we're looking at will be the Enchanted Map Oracle cards by Colette Baron-Reid. And the third deck, we are also going back to Denise Linn, and we're doing this Sacred Destiny Oracle. So basically, I'm going to start this off right away, and we'll see what we get. I've picked the cards already, but I never really look at them until we do the reading. So here we go. The first card that we have is Owl Spirit, Wisdom. This is from the Sacred Forest cards, and it's just gorgeous. The imagery is just beautiful. So Owl Spirit. Let's just check out Owl Spirit, Wisdom. What I find about this time period is it's the end of the year, and it's almost as though it's like an end of an end of an era, an end of a time period where everything that you've learned from the beginning of this year kind of culminates at the very end. It's a conclusion, which happens to be perfect for full moon as well. So we're still in the light of the full moon at the winter solstice as well. So the wisdom that we have at this particular time is wonderful. We've gone through the entire year. Yes, there are ups and downs, there are highs and lows, and there's been many challenges, but also some happy times as well. So keeping that in mind, you're full of wisdom from that entire year, and you can ride into the next year with an extra year of wisdom. So let me read and see what it has to say. The sun is set, and you feel a remarkable transformation occurring. Your body shape shifts into an owl. You stretch out your huge wings and silently soar to the top of the tallest pine tree and look over the moonlit forest. Your ability to see the smallest details, even in the darkness, is remarkable. Your sight expands, and you see luminous light bodies of the spirit of the forest. They signal you with love and compassion. Abounding insight, profound majesty, and grace are available to you now, simply by pulling your awareness inward. Ancient wisdom is emerging. You know the truth. Trust your intuition and perceptions right now. You are a truth seeker and a truth sharer. The excellent sight of an owl in the darkness corresponds with your ability to perceive the reality of a situation, even in the murkiest of conditions. When this card chooses you, you are at the advent of a time of profound illumination and transformation, definitely with the sun solstice. The owl sits at the shoulder of Athena and Merlin, revealing sacred truths. In some native cultures, the owl is called the night eagle, for it has the majesty of the eagle, but works silently in the darkness of night. This card can also mean that it's time to embrace your dark side as well as your light. Through doing so, you will be in balance. The spirit of the owl says, trust in your ability to see the deepest truth in situations and in people. Wisdom is growing within you in mysterious ways beyond your awareness. This is a good time to sign up for inspirational courses. Messages from spirit are all around you. Look for them and trust what you feel. Lovely. This is just basically right for the time period that we are at this particular moment. if you think about the number of truths that are coming out and that have come out this last year and the year before, we're going to see that it's like amping up with energy right now when it comes to the truths coming out. And this is screaming that because of our wisdom, because a lot of us have actually done our own investigations and educated ourselves upon what is happening in this world, makes us a little bit of uh, better for it to see the truths. And then we're also urged in this card to take advantage of that internal truth clock that we have, that intuition that says, you know what? Maybe I need to look into this a little further because it doesn't resonate with me right now. And when you do, you grow the wisdom. You take the wisdom of the ancestors and you pull it within you too, because that means that you are honoring who you are. You are honoring that truth bearer within you. This is also saying at this particular time, the winter, this is a time to go within to understand that part of yourself that could be what they say is the darker side, the side with which you need to go to check in with and deal with. In the full moon reading I did, it talked about checking in with your fears, dealing with your fears. And the fears are those within you that have festered, that have been there for such a long period of time, some things that you haven't actually dealt with at this particular time. And you'll be a better person for it, for dealing with it, for facing that fear that in that past that you've never really thought about, that you haven't revisited for a while, that you've suppressed maybe. This is a time where everything comes out. And if you don't pull it out, the universe will pull it out for you. And it may not be pleasant, it may not feel very good. So this is saying, honor that part and honor your intuition, because your intuition will always tell you the right thing. If you find that there's something a little bit off with what you hear or what you see, then dig in a little bit. Check it out for yourself. Research it so that you satisfy that intuition. You satisfy how the information would resonate with you. And you honor yourself with the wisdom of the owl spirit by doing that. So let's go on to the next card, which is from the same deck. And it is Butterfly Spirit Transformation. So we're still in a major transformation. And I see that this is also going to open up a lot of truths. I think, may I say, that basically this next year is going to be a Pandora's box of truths. And I did allude to that when I was doing the full moon reading as well, saying how we are going to see a lot of very interesting truths that will come up. And some of them will be life transformational. So butterfly spirit is basically coming to let us know how much we are transforming at this time. Not only is it that we're transforming on the inside and the world seems to be reflecting what it is that's going on the inside, but also that we are seeing a change and transformation of the seasons. We're going from a time where if it was considered fall, which definitely when I look outside and I see the snow, I'm not actually saying that it's fall, but winter. And winter holds a lot of transformation. It's about cleansing. It's about, in some cases, like the bears, they hibernate. It's about going within, about self-care, about feeling what it is that you need to feel, what it is that you need to do about those feelings during that time period, and offers self-care in order to deal with that. So that gives you that opportunity to look at those fears and face them. And then in the spring, the transformation that the butterfly offers is real. It's a time where you come out of that cocoon, where the bears step out of the cave and they see the newness of the light. And it's very transformative for us as individuals. You feel more alive. At this time, it's about sleeping, about and dare I say, basically the physical aspect of sleeping, not being asleep, like not knowing what's going on in the world or in yourself. It's basically that time of rest. So let's take a look at the butterfly spirit transformation. We're going to see how it works with what I just mentioned. In the sacred forest, you can hear their approach before they arrive. Listen, it's the song of the butterflies. Their melody trails behind them in ribbons of luminescent lights as their delicate gossamer wings flutter in a kaleidoscope of sound, color, and delight. Magic is afoot. You receive this card when you are in the process of change. Old structures, beliefs, and ideas are falling away to be replaced with vitality and new pathways. Soon you'll be seeing the world in a fresh way, and the world will be seeing you in a fresh way. You're at the beginning, in the middle, or at the completion of an enormous transformation in your life and all of our lives. Don't hold on to old structures and limited ways of thinking. Even if it looks as if you're in murky waters and things feel confusing, and even if it seems that everything is dissolving around you, this is only the clearing that occurs just before rebirth. It's all for your highest good. Remember, you are safe as these changes occur around you. The butterfly is a powerful metaphor for transformation. For it to gain its wings, the caterpillar must weave a chrysalis and then completely dissolve into a kind of liquid soup before transforming or reforming into the shape of a butterfly. Enzymes dissolve all of its tissues before it metamorphoses into something completely different. So relax into the changes. You are bringing vibrant energy into the world. The spirit of the butterfly says, the past is behind you. Everything is changing. It's time to launch a new cycle, a new project. With care, miracles can abound. That's very true. And there's not much to basically discover in that little saying. But what this is really talking about is we're still in this transformation and we will be transforming. Everything has to change because a lot of it was not working. So regardless if something was working or not, it's like basically going through the same routine every single day. If you're doing the same routine every single day, that you're basically grooving that rut continuously over and over and over and over. And nothing changes, nothing's new. When we see transformation, when the butterfly spirit comes up, it basically says that it's time for change. And this transformation is real, it is big, and it's everywhere. Not only are we transforming on the inside, becoming who it is that we're meant to be, which is basically that being of light, that part of us that is part of the universe. We are of the universe. We are basically made from the universe, and we are transforming into that. The world itself is, as you can see, crumbling in many different ideals. The basic belief systems that we had before, the everything, the financial system, economic system, the educational system, the way that we basically thought about other people. Everything is changing. Everything, relationships, it just, everything is changing. And most times when transformations do happen, they might be a little bit at a time and not as intense. But it's happening so that everything is changing at the exact same time, and it is extremely intense. And it can be very uncomfortable. Change, say, for example, going through the birthing canal, as they kind of say in here, that we're making changes so that we can basically be rebirthed. And it's not very pleasant going down the birth canal. So at this very moment, everything is falling and everything is changing so that the new growth can come up. And even though it doesn't seem like it, all of the things that have been happening, the truths coming out about different things, restrictive and control, all of that plays a part in the transformation. And if you look at the end game, the completion of all of it, we will be different people. We will be in a different world. Um, so I'll have to say too, a normal or going back to a normal, um, never. We're never going back to a normal because normal is that rut, and we have been traveling through it for too long. We are now stepping out of it and moving ahead with something different. So we're going to look at the Enchanted Map, and the first card we have for that is listening. Oh, this is so cute too. It's beautiful. The elephant is just beautiful. The elephant also reminds us of the owl, in a sense, lots of wisdom within. The old also becoming something new and thinking of something different. So listening. That's one of the things that I find is very important for us to do, especially with the media, the social media that we're hearing. You really have to pay attention. You really have to listen and kind of dig in between the grooves, because not everything that you hear is in the most optimistic and truthful light. So, what you have to do is read between the lines and actually find out for yourself, discern what it is that is the truth. So, really listening is called for at this time. An open heart will hear the message. When this card appears, you're being reminded that there is a time to speak and a time to be silent. Now is an occasion for listening. Pay attention not only to what is being spoken, but also to what is not being said at this moment, for the deeper message is not always obvious. Listen with your heart, not just your ears, and you'll find clarity. Receiving the listening card is a fortunate sign and ensures a greater understanding of your circumstances. Very much as to what I had said about the fact that we need to read between the lines. Some things are not quite obvious. Some things are actually quite downright having the wool pulled over our eyes, especially when it comes to what we're being told in the public arena, in the world situation. But also, this might also reflect upon people and relationships that are around you at this particular time. Maybe what you need to do is also go within and find out, how does this resonate? Does what this person is saying, does it resonate with me? Is it something that that kind of throws some bells and whistles going on in the back of my head? Do I need to really look into whether this is truth or not? And if that's the case, how does it reflect upon my relationship at this time? Also, with this winter solstice, we're also at a particular time where the planetary alignments are very significant. And one of the key players in this is Venus. I believe she's going retrograde. If that's the case too, it has everything to do with her relationships. And I urge you to listen to astrologers, your favorite astrologer, or I listen to Pam Gregory. I also listen to Joni Patry, as well as Braca Goldsmith. So basically, there are a few different ways you can learn about the astrology and how it affects your sign, your situation, and this particular winter solstice as well. So relationships are definitely something that will definitely be pertinent to listening at this time. So the next card that we have through the same deck, the Enchanted Map Oracle, is Mountain, but it's in the protection position. So this is Mountain, but it is in the protection position. And what does that mean? That means that we're reading a separate spot. We're reading something different. It means that basically, when it's upside down, it tells you that there's a little bit that just something to be wary of, a message to be wary of. There's an obstacle to your inquiry. So, Mountain, you have the capacity to flow around any obstacle. This is the time to adapt. There's an obstacle to your inquiry. This is not the time to move forward. Wait a while, be patient, and a way around the mountain will be revealed. Pushing forward isn't in your highest good. Don't try to climb too high to grasp the prize that seems out of reach, because it is for now. If you exceed your limits, you'll find yourself tumbling down and you'll get hurt. Remain open to a new possibility rather than stubbornly forging ahead. Now, this is wonderful to basically look at how the obstacles that are within us, or basically within us, that could be the dark sides that we have to deal with, as well as the obstacles that are in the world, which would also be restrictions, or losing a job. And when I say losing, it might be that you were let go, or that you were changing positions because of others that are let go, that are or that have left, that you have to take another responsibility on. Could be relationships as well, obstacles that come in between you. And because this is mountain, if you think about a mountain, the mountain stands strong. It is very vigilant. It stays where it is, and it just looks so ominous, but it has strength. You look at a mountain, you think of strength. This is saying you have the capacity to flow around that obstacle, and at the moment, if there is something that is there that is blocking you from moving forward, then maybe this is the time to look within and say, okay, how can I achieve what it is that I want to do, and adapt to the situation? Does it mean that I have to walk around the mountain? Do I have to go around it? Or do I just need to wait, and somehow something will open up and I can walk right through the mountain? I mean, that's symbolic, of course, but basically saying, pushing forward in this particular situation, um, trying too hard, basically, or trying to do too much too soon will not do you any good at this particular time. And it's perfect for the winter solstice, because this is heading into that time of rest, heading into the time of contemplation and cleansing. And when you cleanse, you also deal with your crap. I mean, it is that you have to deal with what it is that is holding you back, that seems to be stuck within, that now's the time to cleanse it, to let it go. This may mean tears. This may mean changing your routine, changing your self-care, and actually looking at that. Maybe something's not working in that regard, that because you're not wanting to do it. um, Change it up, adapt to the particular situation, because it's not going to change anything at the moment for you to try and push against the grain. So take your time on this, and in divine timing, things will start to present itself to you, and you will be able to move ahead. So the last card that we're going to look at is through the Sacred Destiny Oracle cards, and we're looking at delight. Isn't that beautiful? So it's funny, because we're doing a winter solstice, but this really is reminiscent of spring. Between now and then, we have the opportunity to delight in certain things, to be able to recognize how wonderful, even how wonderful dealing with your crap could be. And you know what? That could also be downsizing and getting rid of old things. When you move the energy around within your home, or your garage, or your car, or your office, when you move that energy around by getting rid of things, by shredding things, or burning it, or whatever it is, giving it away, it's wonderful, because it allows the freshness, the newness to come in. Energy is really interesting, because if you clutter yourself with things all around you, say for example in your office, or a place that you sleep, your bedroom, then it impedes the energy flow. And when that happens, it's not as easy for you to sleep or to work if you're in your office, just because your entire environment feels cluttered. So when you let go of anything that you had held on to, maybe even clothes, if you hadn't used your clothes in certain clothing in about a year, or anything around your house in about a year, you'll likely don't need it. So at that point, let go of what is the old and embrace the new. And so I'm just going to read delight because I think it's perfect for spring cleaning. Sparrows in spring grass. The sparrow gains its power from its numbers. In clusters, sparrows eat and forage, and predators are distracted and deterred, even intimidated by their numbers. Security and joy in numbers is a lesson of the sparrow. Within their community, sparrows are always busy living life fully. Many cultures align the meaning of the sparrow with joy. And in the Middle Ages, the sparrow was thought to relieve suffering, help one triumph over hardships, and bring joy. So the sacred landscape wants you to know the message is this: delight is expanding in your life. Clap your hands with glee, spend time with others, go to a community gathering, host a party. The joy you experience will give birth to immense creativity and your life will blossom. Share your happiness and elation with others, and it will grow by leaps and bounds. This isn't the time to be serious or buckle down and get to work. This is the time to be spontaneous and madcap. Do not make hard and fast commitments. Don't sign any legal documents or make any pledges right now. Don't make any promises, or you might not be able to keep them. Give yourself permission to have fun, lots of fun, especially in community with others. Now, looking at all of the situation going on in the world today, some of these things, in the literal sense, like parties and so forth, may or may not be able to be held. But what this is saying is, and what I would like to also say, is for anyone at this particular time, it's very auspicious in the winter solstice happening just before Christmas and at the end of the year. If you are stuck in a situation where you need to, whether it's isolation or the restrictions are so great that you are by yourself or you are only with those who are within your home or whatever that may be, do your very best to find what brings you joy, even if that is on your own. People can find joy by simply meditating, listening to music, and dancing, because your hips need it. Your body needs to move. And when your body moves, you can actually ground as well and find balance. What I urge you to do, and I challenge you to do, is no matter in what dire circumstances you may be at right now, find an inner music and dance to it. Find that part that can bring you joy, even for a short time, and do it often so that those short times accumulate into larger times and then a day. Because you know what happens? Your energetic vibration, the body's vibration starts to rise. And nothing can take that down. Nothing can change that vibration. Only you. You're the one who can create a prison within your mind. In this particular sense, it is dire. Yes, some people are going through a lot of issues. And I say countries are going through some horrifying restrictions that just really make me tear up thinking about it. But I do know one thing. You have the capacity to make the choice of being happy and being joyful no matter what circumstance you're in. If you decide to, joyfulness or happiness is what you make of it. It is how you will express it in your own form. You don't have to dance. You don't have to laugh. You don't have to jump up and down. Joy to you could mean anything. And to me, I'll say, I love looking outside and seeing the sparrows or seeing the chickadees, the birds, the rabbits. We see deer where we are. So I love looking at nature, and I love feeling the sun against my skin. that brings me joy enough to smile. So that's the challenge. And at this particular winter solstice, keep in mind we are finishing another cycle. We are changing and going into this time of cleansing, this time of discernment to know what is truth and what is not, to know that your intuition has a very, very huge part of your internal truth clock, and to trust it. Trust your body. Trust the fact that we have all had how many years we've had an amazing immune system. Our immune systems are magic, they're magical. They've always been. To not trust them now is a disservice. I'm just putting it out there. Trust your immune system, trust your body, trust yourself, and be confident in who you are, because you are more than just the human. You are a being who is living a human experience. So, with that, that concludes my winter solstice reading. I am holding a winter solstice meditation for peace, harmony, and healing. And it will be short, but it will be sweet. And if you have the time, the link will be below, which will take you to an Eventbrite free registration for the event if you feel called to join us. And if not, I urge you to take the time, sometime on the winter solstice, to just take a few moments and send out some loving, healing thoughts, and just sending love and peace, or for peace within the world. It's something that we need, peace and compassion at this time. So I thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. And if you like this video, please press the like button below and subscribe to my channel. I will also have more videos coming about more inspirational videos and such as well, meditations and so forth. So watch for those. Well, once again, thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. So enjoy your winter solstice. Take some time for yourself.